What's up, guys? LQ here with the LQ review. I'm here to do a tier list for the Survivor 50 cast. Basically, what I'm doing here is I've got four categories. I've got Final Three, Jury, Merge, and Pre-Merge. I'm going to put each person in the spot where I think they are most likely to make it to. This isn't going to be a deep character study or a deep character dive. I'm not going to talk a lot about each character. Really just going to put them in the spot where I think that they're going to end up. And then after the season's over, we'll come back and see how right or wrong I was about each person. All right, here we go. Angelina. Angelina, I think, is just conniving enough and just charismatic enough and has enough friends that I think she'll make it to the jury. Next, we've got Charlie. Charlie, I think, definitely is going to make it to the jury. Next, we have Q. I think Q's tough, but I think he's going to be out before the merge. He's just too chaotic. He's too chaotic, and I don't know how anybody who really knows their Survivor is going to be able to have a long-term alliance with him. All right, let's do Coach next. Coach, I think, is going to make it to the merge. I'm not convinced he's going to make it all the way to the jury. This is assuming that there's 9 people on the jury. That means 9 on the jury, a final 3, that's 12. 12 people total make it to the jury in final 3. That leaves 12 that are not. Now, I'm assuming that they're going to merge after 10 people have been eliminated. So 10 people have been eliminated. There's still 14 in the game. They're going to merge. 2 people will be eliminated after the merge, and then we'll go into the jury. Maybe that's not how they're going to do it. I think, if I remember correctly, Winners at War, everybody was on the jury. Maybe that's how they're going to do it here, but that's just kind of the assumptions that I'm making, and they may end up being completely wrong. All right, here we go. Jonathan. Jonathan, I think, is going to be out before the merge. I just think a lot of people are going to look at him as a threat, as a challenge threat, and I think he'll be out pre-merge. All right, Devins, I think, is going to make it to the jury. I think a lot of people really like him, and I think he's going to make it to the jury. Colby, I think, is also going to make it to the jury. With the exception of All-Stars, Colby has made it far every time he's played. In All-Stars, he didn't. But in Heroes vs. Villains and in Australia, he made it far each time. Heroes vs. Villains, his head wasn't even in the game, and he still made it far. So I think Colby will make jury. All right, Mike White. I do think Mike White's going to be out pre-merge. I just don't see him being a long-term player in this game. I don't think he's going to be one of the stronger players. And I think he'll be sacrificed on the altar of keeping the tribe strong. Christian, on the other hand, I think a lot of people want to play with Christian. He's very smart, very intelligent, and he could potentially do well in challenges. I'm going to make Christian my first Final 3 candidate. I think Christian has the tools to be Final 3 in this season. All right, next we have Chrissy. Chrissy is the type of person I can see just coasting into the merge or coasting into the jury. Let's see, Ozzy. Ozzy's another tough one. Is he going to be looked at as a target early? Or is he someone who's going to make it far? I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to put Ozzy right here with his buddy Coach. He's going to make the merge, but not going to make the jury. So that's 2. That's all I need there. So I need 3 in the final 3, 9 in the jury, 2 in the merge, and then 10 in pre-merge. That's what I need. All right, next is Sari. Let's do Sari next. I do think Sari's going to be out pre-merge. I don't see how this group of people is going to let Sari get far. Could be wrong, but I don't see how that would happen. Aubrey, I think, is in the same boat. I don't see how this group lets Aubrey get too far. We know that there are players in this season that are going to be gunning for Aubrey. So I just don't know how they're going to let her get too far. Jenna. Yep, I'm putting Jenna in the jury. I think there's going to be a lot of reverence for her. People are going to really like her. And I think she's kept up with Survivor enough that she'll do fine in the new era. Let's see. Camilla. I think Camilla is a pre-merge ouster. I think she has too many friends in this game. Specifically Kyle, and everybody's seen 48, so everybody knows how tight her and Kyle are. In fact, let's go find Kyle. Where are you at, Kyle? There you are. You're gonna be right here in pre-merge with your buddy Camilla. I don't think Kyle's making it to the merge. All right, let's go over here. Let's do Tiffany. I think Tiffany has a shot at final 3, but I think she's going to make the merge. No, I'm sorry. I think Tiffany's going to make the jury. A shot at final 3, but she's going to end up on the jury. That's 7 I've got on the jury. I have room for 2 more. So 2 more juries, 2 more final 3s, and let's see, a few more pre-merge people. All right. Let's see, who do I want to do next? Joe. Joe. Okay, you're going to be... I think Joe's going to make the jury again. Strong player, plays loyalty. Because he plays loyal, people will want to be in alliance with him. And he's somebody that can be easily blindsided later, right? Someone you can use in challenges because of his strength. Someone you know is not going to turn their back on you because they play a loyal game, which means that it's somebody that you can backstab later. All right, here we go. D. I know that a lot of people really like D, but I think D's going to be out pre-merge. Too big of a threat. She's played one of the best games of the new era, and I just don't know that this group, knowing how big of a threat she is and how strong of a player is, I just don't see how this group is going to keep her around all that long. All right. I think it's kind of the same with Genevieve as well. I think Genevieve will be out pre-merge. Again, I'm just not sure how long this group is going to keep the big threats around. The big new era threats anyways. All right, that leaves us with 1, 2, 3, 4 more players. And I need, let's see, 1 more spot in the jury, 2 more spots in the final 3, and 1 more in the pre-merge. This is easy. I know exactly where I'm going with this. First, pre-merge. Emily. Emily's a tough one. I could be completely off base. I could see Emily finishing very high in this game, or I could see her going out early. So for the purposes of what I'm doing here, I'm going to pick early. All right. Next, let's do one of our final 3s. Stephanie, I believe, is going to be a final 3. Stephanie is strong. She can do well in challenges. I believe that this cast is going to be very receptive to her. I think that she's going to be very well liked, very well respected. And I think she's learned something from her times on Survivor, her time on the Traitors. I think that she's probably a little more savvy now. So of all the old school players who are returning, I think Stephanie might be the best set up to make it to the end. All right, so here we got our 49ers. Our two 49ers. I'm going to put Jury, Rizzo, the Riz God. Just if you look at the history of people who play in back-to-back seasons, that history favors the people who played in back-to-back seasons. Usually they make it really far. Oftentimes they make it all the way to the end, which is why I'm putting Savannah in the final three. She is my favorite player of the new era. I really like Savannah, and I think that of the new era players, I think that she can ride this wave of being the unknown all the way to the end. All right. So there you go. Those are my picks for pre-merge, my picks for merge, my picks for jury, and my picks for the final three. Where do you think I'm crazy? What do you think I got right? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to talk about it. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, guys. I'm really trying to get to 2,000 subscribers. I'm at 1,913. I have been working on trying to make better, more professional content. Instead of just filming stuff and sending it out, I've been trying to really work on editing and spending a little more time on my content, paying a little more attention to thumbnails. I've been trying to deliver better content because this is the first year I've ever done this where I actually have goals that are related to YouTube. I want to get 2,000 subscribers. I want to get 3,000 watch hours, etc. So I do have goals associated with it. So if you could help me get to 2,000 subscribers, I would really appreciate it, guys. Let me know what you think of my tier ranking here in the comments down below. And until next time, we'll see you guys later.